Right, round 7 starting. Cypher Maniac. I think this is going to be Lopunny from Stefan From and Terrabox from Jaggers Wagner. Stefan going second here. No, going first. Starting Klefki. So Janus can't retreat the Latias. Every basic Pokemon's abilities are shut down until Klefki leaves the active spot. So Janus is set back a lot here because Janus can't use Latias, he can't use Ditto, he can't use something like the Rotom to utilize Fan Call, and there's a jamming tower to boot. So you can't play something like the Air Balloon to retreat the Latias. You'll have to commit an energy to it. But from Stefan's side, there is no Bunnyary going on. So you know there's no Lopunny coming next turn. Janice is just price checking just now. I mean, there is a way when you have Crispin in a... Ooh, there was a hand reveal. I think Janice is just... I mean, if I was Janice, the nerves would get to me. For real, though. Because Klefki just shut down everything. I need to find the fan rotom here. There is a stadium in play though. But you would have to commit 2 energies to it because your Latias doesn't have free retreat because Klefki shuts it down. So there's Ultra Ball going down to get the Terrapagos, energy attachment, and a pass for turn. I mean, Janus knows he has time. There's the Evo of the Dusclops, another Duskull going down, and a Lily, grabbing 8 more cards from Stefan's side. But Klefki also shuts down Stefan's Latias. So he will need to commit that enriching energy to retreat to something else, like the Dusclops, or just to play the Jet energy. And especially this format is interesting because Phantasmal Flames is finally legal, so we can see some other decks. And this is the first deck we will be seeing here. The Mega Lopunny EX. Right, finding himself another Jet Energy. And the Bunnery is quite big. And also the Klefki did have its use because Fan Rotom can't use Fan Call on its second turn. Fan Call can only be utilized on your first turn, either going first or going second. And also the Jamming Tower is a big inclusion here in Stefan's deck. Because as a Lopunny player, you're just counting on your Jet Energy and the Latias to grab yourself some free retreat. And the Jamming Tower is going to shut down even more decks. Like the Terra Box, for example. Shutting down the Sparkling Crystal. Alright, Nestball coming down, grabbing another Bunnery. Building yourself quite the board state. And also limiting your opponent. And I suppose you can even just joust for turn. I mean, there's no Monkey Dory in Terror Box, so you can just place 10 damage. And it's going to stay there. Alright, now there's an Earthen Vessel in Janice's hand. But there's no Crispin. So you need to commit an energy to the Latias, but then you're only doing 30 damage with the Terrapagos. Not even enough to knock it out. And your Sparkling Crystal isn't going to work because Jamming Tower is in play. Alright, grabbing Grass and Psychic Energy here. Right, so he commits the Psychic Energy onto Terrapagos. And I suppose just passing the turn again? Because there's not much going on in Janice's hand. I mean, you do have an attachment for next turn, but without many Pokemon in play, that Terrapagos is not going to do much. Right, and Stefan is just building up the board. Jetting the Lopunny into the active spot. That allows Jagnus to retreat the Latias, but the Latias is going to get knocked out right now. I think if I was Stefan, I would just, chill. Leave the Dusclops in play. And just wait until you have Dusk Noir, so you can, there's the scoop. Yeah, Lopunny is quite interesting, in fact. I mean, the amount of pressure you can put onto your opponent just because that deck goes very, very fast. And it's very disruptive with the Jamming Tower in play as well. Just let Klefki do its work, let it stay there, until it's time for you to take multiple knockouts. I think this is a very good showcase on how to pilot the deck. And it's interesting to see, though, because this is the first regional where Phantasmal Flames is legal. Alright, going into game 2 now. I'm prizing the Sparkling Crystal. That's also something you don't want to see from Janice's side. I mean, prizing your A-spec is never a good thing, though. But having the ability to go first, discarding the Iron Bundle, and I suppose keeping the Metal Energy, because Pikachu will be your best friend in this matchup, especially against Mega Kangaskhan. And Stefan playing the Jamming Tower means there is no Bravery Charm in this deck, so Pikachu can get a knockout on Mega Kangaskhan, taking 3 prize cards, and I think Janice sees this play. He's eyeing up the Pikachu first thing, and noticing the Sparkling Crystal is not there. I mean, that's something else this deck is good for, is the fast early pressure it has. Also due to the fact you have the Wellspring Mask Ogerpon. So if there's a world, you can go first, attach to Wellspring, you can knock out multiple Bunneries on your following turn, but there's still the Mega Kangaskhan to deal with. Fan Rotom being used now. Eyeing up the Ditto though. I suppose you have Night Stretcher to get the Iron Bundle back to Iron Bundle next turn to promote something like the Bunnery or a Duskull. He can use the Ditto to transform into the Wellspring Mask Ogerpon and apply instant pressure. I mean, there's still the Metal Energy in Janice's hand. Hoot, Ditto. Oh, Mew is always almost hitting the discard pile there. I have done it myself once when I was playing Iron Valiant Ante. I was switching so many things and then ended up discarding my Iron Valiant. Anyways, back to the game now. It's eyeing up the Wellspring though. That's something you want to do. Or Pikachu. So you don't need Night Stretcher to get Iron Bundle back if you can just knock out the Kangaskhan. And he's going to commit the Metal Energy to the Pikachu. That means you just need a Crispin next turn in order to do 300 damage to knock out that Mega Kangaskhan, limiting Stefan from using Dusclops and Dusknoir. Or at least not too much of it. So we'll see what Stefan does from here. I mean, there's a lot of Surge cards going, but there doesn't seem to be a support card. So you can empty the hands, play Buddy Puffin, grab a bunch of Duskulls, but he sees the threat from the Pikachu staring down onto your Kangaskhan. So I suppose limiting your deck, grabbing out the Pokemon you need, grabbing more cards with the Kangaskhan after, hoping to grab an Iono to limit Janus from knocking out your Kangaskhan with the Pikachu. Or, you know, with his Nest Ball still in its hands, he can grab Latias and retreat into the Latias. I suppose. Not retreat into the Latias, but perhaps Klefki even. Or perhaps sacrifice a Duskull, because Janus is committing to the Pikachu, and he wants to knock out the Kangaskhan. So Janus can't play Crispin and Boss's Orders in the same turn. So if there's a way to retreat the Mega Kangaskhan, that would be great. And he's eyeing up the Latias, just as I said. So over at Janus' side, he now needs something like Teal Mask Ogerpon and Energy Switch. But if I recall correctly, he did throw it away with Ultra Ball. But Terrabox is playing to Energy Switch now. But I don't know if Janus is playing the two of them. If not, he's not in a good position. Oh, he has Research. Very nice indeed. 7 fresh cards here. And you still have to draw with the Mega Kangaskhan. That's a nice hand. But no Jet Energy. I suppose. No, it's a Cypher Maniac and the Blood Moon. Still no energy though. Was that a Gemming Tower? It's a Gemming Tower. Oh, he threw it away on the other side. Last game, he threw it on this left side. Alright, that's a retreat into the Bunnery. And the pass. Alright, Janus. He drew Crispin off the top. And... I suppose there's no way to knock out the Kangaskhan now. Was there Energy Switch in the discard? I suppose it was. He is committing to the Crispin. I suppose it would be better to retreat the Pikachu into the Fan Rotom and use something like Assault Landing to get the knockout on the Bunnery, because the Bunnery has 70 HP. Yes, I wasn't wrong, it has 70 HP. Alright, grabbing Psychic Grass here. I suppose you can Noctowl Nest Ball Energy Switch. Alright, so accelerating the Psychic to the Pikachu. And the Grass Energy to the Fanrotom. And Assault Landing. Saving the Noctowl for next turn. Perhaps for another Crispin. And Janice has a Night Stretcher in hand, so we can get the Grass Energy right back. And accelerate it to Pikachu. And Stefan still didn't have a Jet Energy. Or any energy, in fact. But you have something like Cypher Maniac's Code Breaking, where you can just choose 2 cards from your deck and put them at the top. In any order you like. So I suppose you might even look for your A-Spec, the Enriching Energy, because you can retreat manually with the Latias. That ensures you that you have the switch that Mega Lopunny needs, but playing the Cypher Maniac means there is no boss coming. So Stefan is not playing a boss's orders onto the Mew, or the Pikachu in fact. But Stefan can play something like Counter Catcher. Alright, excited to see what's happening now. But I suppose if Stefan was playing anything like Counter Catcher, he would put it at the top. Because then you can Dusclops onto the Pikachu and then knock out the Pikachu with the Mega Lopunny EX, and then limiting Janice from doing anything, just playing the game, in fact. It's going to be the Candy into the Dusknoir with the Mega Lopunny, and I suppose just enriching onto the Pony. I mean, if Stefan finds another Candy Dusknoir, he can take out both Hoot Hoots and just limiting Janice from using Noctowl and do anything, basically. Right, so he's going to pop the Dusknoir onto the Pikachu, placing another Duskull. Alright, so there's 130 damage onto that Pikachu. But there's no Gust coming. But, although, if you find another rare candy... Oh, you have the other rare candy. That's just a knockout on the Pikachu. That is huge. Sacrificing 2 prize cards, taking 2 prize cards, and you haven't even attacked just yet. And now you have the the Counter Catcher. So now you can Counter Catcher the Mew EX, taking 2 more prize cards. But first, fill up the bench. And I suppose you want another Duskull now and another Bunnery. Just in case Janice will be able to set up this game. But it's just going to be the 1 Duskull. I mean, there's no threat anymore. The Pikachu's gone, and that's the only threat that remains for the Mega Lopunny. And he still hasn't committed an energy. Yeah, there it is. Counter Catcher onto the Mew. Enriching onto the Lopunny. Grab 4 more cards here. And I suppose you can empty their hands to prevent an Ino from happening next turn. Damn. Taking 4 prize cards in a single turn. Yeah, that Megalopunny is something to look out for. But he did put Janus down to 3 prize cards remaining. But there's no way, without a Pikachu, that Megalopunny is getting knocked out. I mean, I suppose you can Night Stretcher the Pikachu back, play Noctowl, get a Crispin, load up the Pikachu, and Assault Landing just now to have a fighting chance next turn. So Janus might be not in a bad position as I initially thought. But Janus needs the Teal Mask Ogerpon, so he needs Nestball and Crispin. He's just checking the Crispin count, I suppose. Or Super Rod. Super Rod will get him the energies back. Eyeing up the Latias though. And also because the fact of the Resolute Heart is that the Lopunny can't get a direct knockout on the Pikachu. Pikachu needs to get damage counters on it before, otherwise it would be alive still. And I suppose taking the Ultra Ball. Alright, so Super Odds, shuffling energies back. I suppose that was the only metal in Janus's deck. Now playing Ultra Ball. Oh, he had Crispin in hands. Alright. So Crispin, Metal, and I suppose and Grass onto the Pikachu. Or just take Lightning and Grass, Lightning and Metal onto the Pikachu, applying pressure, playing Ultra Ball, or E-Switch. Hold up. But where's the other damage? Committing both Noctowl. Oh, he's going to... Oh, there it is. Nestball onto the Mega Kangaskhan, Nestball for Latias. Wow, what a play. What a play there. That was nicely sequenced from Janus. And we're on to game 3 here. Wow, very nice. Yeah, I don't think there was something Stefan could have done differently, though. He played everything right, but due to the fact he had to blow out 2 Dusk Noir to be able to knock out the Pikachu, as he gave Janus a fighting chance. Oh, it's game 2. Wait. No, this is game 3, right? Yeah, there's the point. There's the point. And I suppose Stefan just wants to go first now. Let Janus go second. It's Candy prized, Lily prized, Cypher Mania prized. Crispin and Noctowl, and also the Ditto from Janus's side. But Janus has access to the Sparkling Crystal now. But looking at the hands, he doesn't have anything going on. Crispin, Crystal, Vessel, no Surge cards though. I really, really hope they top deck a Supporter or a Body Porphin here. But if Stefan can place down a Klefki, a well-placed Klefki, then I suppose Janus is done for this turn. Stefan's eyeing up the Latias though. And the Klefki. Nest ball for the Latias. Realizing the Klefki is going to shut down Janus. Just like they did in game 1. Oh, even have a Duskull and a Bunnery. This is even better than round 1. And the pass. Oh, is that? Oh, it's an area 0. Yeah, I suppose you have to play the Latias in order not to get donked. Oh my god. Okay, both Psychic Energy are in there. So that Latias can attack though, but you can't get both out. Crispin specifically says you have to grab 2 different energies. But you have Earthen Vessel though, so you can get rid of the Grass Energy. You don't want to get rid of the Lightning Energy because I see it's the only Lightning Energy available for Janus. And he wants to keep the Pikachu line open because that Pikachu play saved him last turn. Realizing that, he knows he has to repeat that same gameplay. Alright, taking the Psychic and the Grass Energy from the Earthen Vessel. And he can still attach for turn now. But that Iron Bundle isn't going to go anywhere because you can't get rid of it in the active spot because Hyper Blower specifically says you can only use Hyper Blower when it's on the bench. Oh, hold up. Stefan can win in 2 turns now. No, just the 1. If he blows up the Dusk Noir onto the Iron Bundle and then having Mega Lopunny with the Jet Energy, that is going to be game. Game in 2 turns. Yep. Yeah, and the Latias is forced to go into the active spot, so Mega Lopunny can knock it out. Alright. Will we see it here? We have Enriching Energy. No Jet Energy though. Ooh, no Surge card, no Ultra Ball. So that play is not open. I think Janus would love to see this. And I suppose you can commit the Enriching Energy to the Bunnery. If you play something like the Switch, you can switch. Oh, there's no Switch. There is the Mega Lopunny though. But there is no Switch card happening. I mean, you can Nest Ball for another Duskull. Or you have another Duskull already. Alright. I mean, that's a problem with Klefki as well. That you need to get it out of your own active spot as well. But that's just going to be the pass. But I suppose if you can build up another Dusk Noir. Oh, another pass again. Yeah, that's going to be game. I think there's another rare candy. Is there? No, it's going to be the Dusclops. No rare candy in hand. It's going to be the Dusclops then. Yeah. And I suppose thinning out the deck, playing another Lily for 8 more cards, allows you to use Jet Energy. Is this going to work? Alright. We'll see. Stefan playing the Lily. For 8 more cards. And it's interesting to see they're playing the Cramorants. Alright. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you have a Jet Energy, that's going to be game, or energy in general. And there's the Jet Energy. Alright, Jet the Lopunny into the active spot. Pop the Dusknoir, and that's game. Wow. What a showcase on this first take on the Mega Lopunny. Going 7-0. That just means that Mega Lopunny is just destructive. Destructive. And I hope we get to see more plays from it. I want to see what else it can do. I mean, having so many Stage 2 Pokemon and Stage 1 Pokemon can quite clutter the deck. But that doesn't take away the fact that it's still dominating. Just as we saw. I mean, their Klefki did all the work, shutting down Janus's side of the board. And Janus tried so hard to claw back with the limited resources they had. But Stefan was able to seal both games. Yeah, I think the archetype is very interesting. Yeah, there was just nothing going on for Janus. He could attach, but due to the fact that Klefki was there, just shut down Terrabox entirely. And there was no search cards going on. Alright, GG's.